Okay, hi. I'm here with Origin's executive team again. If you'd like to introduce yourselves, we'll do this the way that you're on my screen. So start off with you, Carol Carter.
Thanks, Julie. I'm Carol Carter. I'm Chief Executive.
Carol Williams.
Hi, I'm Carol Williams and I'm the Operations Director.
Gareth Jones.
I'm Gareth Jones. I'm Development Director and Director of Assets.
And Gloria Yang.
Hi everyone, I'm the Deputy Chief Executive and Director of Finance.
Great, thank you very much. So we asked residents again what was concerning them about coronavirus, and again we've pulled the questions together into themes, and I will ask the questions and Exec will answer them for you. So we'll kick off with the first one then. What support have we offered vulnerable and all residents throughout the lockdowns?
Okay, shall I take that one? So a really good question. Since last April, we've been contacting our vulnerable residents over the whole period. Now, what I mean by that is we've been making phone calls to lots of residents, about 1,500. We've also followed that up with residents who've asked us to keep in touch with them during that time frame. We have kept going back to that grouping of residents. So I think we've now been 2 or 3 times we've been contacting them just to make sure that they're all okay. Is there anything that we can help them with, or if we can help them direct them to other services that might be of assistance. What we've been able to do with those residents is obviously support them, some with food vouchers, with food parcels. We've been able to help with fuel vouchers, and you know, anything that we can do to make sure that our customers and our residents are, you know, supported fully through this terrible period that has been going on now for nearly 12 months. But in addition to that, you know, it's not just about people who we know are vulnerable. We do know that people are now struggling because they may have lost their jobs. We know there's lots and lots of us who are homeschooling, and we're looking at what else can we do to help our residents during this time. So we also have what's known as our digital inclusion scheme, and we make sure that we work with people on that. And this is for people who are looking to get into employment and job searching. But for those of you who are homeschooling as well, like, we are interested to know if people are struggling with that, whether it be equipment, whether that be something like broadband. So what we have been doing is working to put in community fibre offer in a lot of our properties, and there's information about that on our website. But obviously, again, if you want some more on that, please come back to our community development team. And we're also looking and working with partners to see if there's other ways we can help those of you who might be struggling with the homeschooling, whether it's through laptops and things like that. So please get in touch with our community development team and we can give you some more information on all those things that we're offering.
Okay, how have we been delivering repairs and other services throughout the lockdown?
Okay, I'll start this one again. So we have continued to deliver all our services throughout this whole period. We've been working really closely with our contractors, making sure that they're guys that are going into the properties are using PPE, that they are fully trained in what to do, and we've made a determined effort to make sure that we carry on delivering all our services. Now, what that has meant is that we're still doing repairs, and we will do those if you want us to come into your homes. We're offering same-day service for repairs for our general repairs work, and we're managing to do about 40% of repairs at the minute on the same day, if that suits you as our resident. So, you know, we're really, really enhancing our offer to you at the current time. We've made sure that we carry on doing all our cleaning services. We've been taking special precautions around areas like our lift buttons, the handrails, door entry areas, just to make sure that those all get an extra clean. And obviously that's also included refuse collection. With us all being at home, there's more rubbish being left outside our properties. We're all getting more deliveries at home. So our refuse collectors are working hard to make sure that we clear that as quickly as we can, as well as working with all the local authority refuse collections that are happening. So we're making sure that all those are still being delivered to you. obviously, to do that, we may have had to slightly change how we deliver some of our services. So we've gone a lot more online with services. So we now can offer you appointments to speak to your neighbourhood manager or your income officer, or through our shared ownership teams, we can offer you those. We're doing more online work around how we let our properties. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is trying to be as flexible as we possibly can to work with you and to meet how you would like to communicate with us. So we're still going out to people's houses where they want us to. We're still doing online services, or we're doing things by email or through different routes like chatbots, etc. So please work with us. We'll adapt and communicate with you to whatever suits you the best, and we'll continue to deliver our services in as many ways as we possibly can.
Okay, great, thank you. What are we doing to help people with affordable housing?
Okay, so we have an active development programme to provide new homes in the areas that Origin already own property. This, of course, is North London and Hertfordshire. We aim to complete around 200 homes a year, but this will vary depending on the completion dates for the size of schemes, how long they take to build, and how long it takes to get through planning very often. In the current year, we have a large total. We have 340 completions taking place, which is higher than the usual. This includes around 100 private sale homes, which we produced in a joint partnership with a private developer with whom we've worked very successfully. Recently, we have needed to produce a number of private homes to provide a cross-subsidy to be able to develop new affordable homes, as funding from the government is usually insufficient to cover the costs. We're currently looking again now at the strategy for how we provide new homes for the next 5 years, and we're looking at the same general level of number of homes, so around 200 to 220 a year, but as the private market is far less predictable, we're looking to reduce dependency on private sale homes, certainly in the first 2 or 3 years anyway. We're looking then to work far more in partnership with developers who provide affordable homes as part of their planning conditions, and to negotiate higher levels of grant with the GLA or the Homes England outside London to provide more new affordable homes, and particularly at social rents that we can develop ourselves. The location of the homes will depend partly on the demand for homes in certain areas, but also the availability of opportunities. So where land is available and where we can afford to develop new affordable homes. This will cover most of our traditional areas of operation. We're also looking currently at providing more homes for people who are currently homeless. So rather than just taking people directly off the council waiting list, we're looking at to extend the impact we have on people who are homeless or street homeless currently as well. And as part of the new programme, we'll certainly be looking at increasing standards of environmental performance, increasing standards of fire safety, so including sprinklers in all flats, and just generally looking at the quality to make sure we're meeting current standards as well.
Brilliant, thank you. And how are we helping our current residents with affordable housing?
Okay, thank you. So as Gareth said, we have a number of new builds each year, and on top of that we get around 120 of our existing properties that become vacant for us to use on an annual basis. So all of the new build properties and most of the vacant properties we let through our local housing partners, through our local councils. We then have a small percentage of properties that we can use to help our tenants. So we have what's known as a management transfer list, and from that we are able to help a small proportion of people each year to move, maybe if they're downsizing from larger accommodation, or if they're maybe having to flee domestic abuse, or if they maybe have a medical reason to need to move to a different style of property. We will always do our best to try and help everybody, but this number of properties we have is extremely small, and we will always recommend to people to try to get rehoused through the local registers, but also to look to mutual exchanges where you might be able to swap with another tenant, maybe ours or a tenant from another association, to assist you in moving to different accommodation.
Thank you. Antisocial behaviour during lockdown. What has Origin done to help prevent or to deal with?
That is a really good question, and I think it's disappointing for us to understand that there has been, since last April, almost a doubling of the number of cases that we've had against antisocial behaviour. So this year alone, we've had over 160 cases come to us. Some of those, as we would expect, are where people are struggling living closely, in a close proximity to each other, and the fact that we're all at home a lot more is having an impact on people. Some of them are around people potentially flighting what they're supposed to be doing, maybe having parties when they shouldn't have been having those, and we will work very carefully with the police around those types of cases. A lot of them are normal cases that we see, people who are maybe doing things they shouldn't be doing, or maybe there's a lot of noise coming from the properties, and we've carried on as normal in taking the actions that we would take, including contacting those residents, serving notices, but at the minute we're not able to necessarily go any further through any court routes, because there is a restriction on what can be done through the courts at the present time. But what we would ask is everybody to please work with us on cases. As I said, we've seen probably a 50% increase in the number of cases reported to us, and our neighbourhood teams and our home ownership teams are working really hard at the minute to try and work with everybody to resolve these cases as much as possible we can. Our whole aim is to find a resolution to the problem, and to keep people in their properties. And so, we would ask that you work with us on that.
Okay, thank you. What financial support are we offering people?
The COVID disruption has made a complicated affairs even more challenging for us all. So we have a dedicated financial support team. The team offer a range of different options because everyone's individual situation are different. So they can talk through your options, advise on benefits, managing budget, rent and bills, and also managing debt. And in addition to that, and as Carol introduced, we also have a community development team who work with local charities. So we've offered, food voucher, fuel voucher, digital inclusion services, and also homeschooling equipment. So if you can go to our website, under the support section, there's a page for financial help and benefits. So you will see a range of the full services we're offering.
Brilliant, thank you. This one will be for you as well, Gloria. How are we keeping rents affordable?
So for our social rented stock, we are actually regulated by the government. So there is a rent standard about how we set initial rent and how do we go about annual rent increase. In setting the initial rent, there is a formula in calculating this, which takes into consideration the local earning level, the property size, and the location of the property. And every year we do an annual increase. Currently, for the next 4 years, the rent settlement is CPI plus 1% every year. We do have a very small number of market rent properties, so the rent review on those properties are still every year, but based on the local demand and valuation at that time. And in addition to that, for our shared owners, the rent review and rent setting are specified in the purchase agreement, in your lease agreement. So in that, every year, how do we calculate the rent and how the rent is increase is specified in your lease. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And the final sort of question was, what information is available on our website about COVID and how do we get in touch? So I'm quite happy to explain that one. Obviously, we're still here for everybody is probably the first thing to say, and you can still call us on our usual number 0300 323 0325. But we've also introduced some new kind of digital channels as well, so you're able to WhatsApp us. If you go onto the website, you could use the chatbot. The chatbot will give you some really quick answers as well. Things like your account balance, when your last payment was, you can report a repair, you can find out who your neighbourhood manager is or your home ownership team contact, and be able to book an appointment with them, and they can either phone you or come out and see you if that's required. We can also use WhatsApp, so you can get in contact with us that way, and you can also live chat with us as well. So all you'd need to do is to go into the chat bot and type live chat. So we've actually really kind of expanded our ways of getting in touch, so hopefully you should be able to find a way to contact us. And then also for older residents that may not have the digital channels, we've started to include information in your quarterly rent statements as well, so you can see what we've been up to and the services that we're offering for you. And then on the website we've got a lot of information on there about COVID, so how to get in touch with us, working safely in your home. We've got a myth buster as well to explain some of the things that have been going around to help you get a clear picture. And yeah, just please remember that we're still all here for you. Thank you.
And I wonder if I could just take this opportunity to let you all know about some exciting things that are happening at the minute. On the 25th of February, we're having a resident Zoom event from 4:30 in the afternoon, where we're going to be discussing the white paper and what that means for how we and yourselves can work together in partnership to improve the services that we deliver. And we've got an exciting guest coming along, Alison Inman, and she's going to give us some of her insights to it. And myself and Carol Carter, our Chief Executive, will also be there giving a presentation. So if you're interested in that event, please get in touch with our community development team. And secondly, there are opportunities for you to become involved with us. Our Spotlight group is looking for some new members, and we're also kicking off the next scrutiny review on our complaints processes. We're looking for people who would be interested in joining both those groups. So if you're interested in it, again, there's an application on our website to complete and get back to us. But again, if you just want to have a conversation about it and get to know a little bit more, please contact our community development team, and they'd love to share information with you. Thank you.
We know many of you have had a really tough year. Our staff are working really hard to maintain services and have been throughout the pandemic, and often they themselves have been struggling too with various challenges, particularly if they're home working. So we just ask you to bear that in mind when you contact them. And then finally, I just wanted to thank you all for sending your questions in. It really is helpful to us to hear your concerns and to make sure we're able to respond to that and to answer your questions. And thanks very much to my colleagues for answering the questions you've posed today. We will be running more of these, so keep a lookout. And if you have any other feedback for us or any other questions, please do take the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for our executive team, and we will let you know the date when the next Ask the Exec will go live. Thank you.